Digitalization has brought significant changes into teacher education. And me and my colleague, Charlie Keeling, is there. We are from Sweden and Norway. We have conducted a survey and we have had a study all about digitalization within the teacher education. And right now there is a debate going on both in Norway and Sweden, whereas they are kind of trying to perhaps reduce the impact of digitalization in the first, second, and third grade due to the results. Learning goals and aims and so on. But we have both worked with in online education, blended learning, and face-to-face or physical education. So we are not against any digitalization, just that this focus on this one is more about formation in the teachers' education than it's about digitalization itself. So perhaps it could have been in the other room, education and society. Anyway, we have a survey, a data collection where we have like 207 students from 4 different universities, whereas like 80% of the students came from teacher education. They were pre-service teachers or in-service teachers. I was partly during 2020 to 2027. So we had a quantitative survey online. We also had a study before the pandemics, but it was a smaller group of students. So these are the student groups. First one is a group of students, clear courses, science courses, but group 2, 42 in-service teachers, and group 3 consists of 132 pre-service teachers. So the total number was 207, but for us the most interesting part was to look at the second and the third group concerning teacher education. The major findings of the questions in the survey are related to collaboration, social relationships, and interaction from an educational perspective. So we had different questions about lectures, group work, feedback, and so on. And they had to answer in favor or online or physical component, or they could say no options. That was no preferences. That indicated that students did not consider any distinction between physical and digital feedback or group work or lectures. That's it. The study utilized mixed methods, as I said, quantitative and qualitative data to provide a comprehensive understanding of the findings. The quantitative data revealed that just over half, like 51% of the students preferred digital lectures, while 68% of the in-service teacher group expressed a preference for campus-based settings. The qualitative data obtained through an open-ended question highlighted the importance of a dialogue and a collaboration for the learning community. It was important for the students to have the opportunity to comment freely on all topics and questions, and then 65% they provided open-ended questions. Concerning setting and feedback. Oh, sorry, I think I'm going. These are the results, by the way. I just inserted a few extra PowerPoints 1 hour ago. These could just have a look. What setting do you prefer for in-class group work? There is a clear majority that prefer campus-based classroom. And the next one, group work out of the classroom. There's both physical and online. That's the yellow one, and the physical meetings is in green. On the back here. Okay. Concerning setting and feedback from lecturers, for example, 70% of respondents in group 2 stated that I only had online feedback, meaning that I did not express a preference, but rather a reality, because it was during a pandemic. But anyway, in terms of preferred setting and group works, as you just saw on the PowerPoint, outside the classroom, go there. Outside the classroom, responses show that a physical component is even more critical for student collaboration than in it. So 80% prefer a physical meeting for successful collaboration. In fact, it was 95% of the students, that in-service teachers, that shared this perception. Concerning the free comments, 10% highlighted the lack of contact and they required more effective collaboration. So the formative perspective concerns collaboration, dialogue, autonomy, and resonance. Collaboration, okay. Interaction and social relations. Relationship with other people through interactions, social relations, are closely linked to bildung or formation or danning, as we call it in Norwegian. A hands-on approach to learning means that students must interact with their environment to adapt and learn. The results of that could also be referred to Dewey. The results of the study which suggest that a physical component is necessary for success, especially when the students are to work together, collaboration, group work in lab, outside class. However, when it comes to dialogue with a teacher, it's interesting to see that a third of the students prefer an online and asynchronous dialogue. That goes in favor of the digital setting. Well, despite the challenges, so the study found that collaboration between lecturers and students worked relatively well in the online environment. By organizing students into breakout rooms, as you all know them, and they replicated some of the physical classroom experience, and the use of these digital tools was perceived as a positive contribution to collaboration and interaction. The study's findings indicate that a physical component, such as face-to-face interaction, is crucial for successful language education, I would say language and cultural education, particularly in collaborative activities. Although some students expressed a preference for online and asynchronous dialogue with lecturers, it was evident that online learning reduced the opportunities for dialogue with peers, according to the students. The authors emphasized the significance of dialogue for the learning community and stress the need to balance digital tools with face-to-face interaction. The findings of the study align with the sentiment expressed by students and the teachers to emphasize the importance of face-to-face interaction and group work. Students value the immediacy of feedback, facial expressions, and the opportunity for real-time dialogue that face-to-face interaction provides. These elements contribute to a formative perspective in education where resonance, dialogue, active participation play a vital role in students' learning experiences. Resonance, a term, by the way, developed and used by the German sociologist Hartner Rosa, 2021, defines contact between people through, among other things, eye contact, body language, and physical presence. The dialogue that occurs, it creates a kind of resonance through listening and giving answers back. So through the dialogue, a change occurs and a commitment is created. So the understanding of resonance between people here has a clear closeness to the concept of formation itself, of being a human being. So, well, of the 10 past years, Rosa has developed a sociology of man's relationship to the world around him and what it takes to live a good life. Resonance is a mutual influence between the individual and the world around them, and that's the core concept of that theory. It also referred to Thomas Fuchs, a German philosopher. It says that, well, especially concerning now the teacher's education, that what happens to man's position of creator and user of knowledge when the use of technology colonizes increasingly new areas of life. So this could also be linked to collaboration and the students' perception and their wish for like some physical meetings at least. concerning collaboration. Also, the term autonomy, the term categorical education, emphasizes autonomy and action through choice, including different course designs in education. Opening up options is something that is both valued by student teachers in their own education and as an educational opportunity in itself, because it opens up a space of opportunity in meeting the students. This also applies to asynchronous opportunities and the choice of online communication with a lecture in a blended learning model. We would nevertheless argue that any advantage of such choices are best seen against a built-in background of professional knowledge and autonomy that is acquired through dialogue and resonance. A lecture, though, especially as a one-way communication of material from lecturers to students, may seem more effective as a medium for learning digitally, as a one-way. This appears to be a significant contributing factor to the general positive response to teacher-centered practice in online environments. In the Norwegian Education Association's consultation response to strategy for digital transformation in the university and college sector 2021 to 2025 in Norway, freedom of method and the autonomous teacher were emphasized in connection with digital competence. So here the formation perspective is more strongly present through an emphasis on autonomy, closely linked to build on formation and the possibility of further development. Considering the study's results, we advocate for a more conscious reflection on formation and the role of digital tools within teacher education specifically. We argue that a balanced approach combining the benefits of digital tools with face-to-face interaction can create or may create a more effective and thoughtful teacher education program. Well, by organizing students, as mentioned, into digital group rooms, classrooms, utilizing chat functions, online collaboration between lecturers and students, it could be facilitated effectively. However, we emphasize that physical presence and interaction should be encouraged whenever possible to foster dialogue and create meaningful learning experiences. The digitalization of learning in higher education has become more prevalent, especially during and after the pandemic. However, there is a growing consensus that physical teaching and collaboration are missed by many students. Several studies have shown that a combination of physical meetings and online teaching is preferred by the majority of students. Therefore, it is important for the higher education sector to facilitate student collaboration and dialogues in settings where physical presence is possible, and I would say especially in teacher training. Yeah, I suppose that's more or less, well, the national guidelines. The role of national guidelines and school curricula cannot be overlooked when considering the digitalization of teacher education. So, as I mentioned in my introduction, there is now increasing ongoing debates about digitalization. It's from the parents, it's from the pupils, it's from the universities, it's from the teacher education, from the politicians on both sides, left, right. And that goes on about now very strongly both in Norway and in Sweden. So there is much debate right now, and there may be a change concerning digitalization. At least I'm speaking for the Norwegian school system right now. So Norway is a very digital, has been, and also Sweden have been very digital countries concerning education and schools. So this is not to arrest anyone for using digital tools, by the way, because we work in online blended learning, and as I mentioned, there are lots of advantages using digital tools, and software, etc., etc., etc. So it's just to underline the importance of formation and the contact between human beings, and especially necessary in teacher education. Thank you.